In our journey through life, navigating relationships and social interactions is a skill that can greatly affect our happiness and success. Whether at work, with friends, or within our families, the way we approach others, especially when we disagree, can either build bridges or create walls. Today, let's explore a principle that, while simple, holds profound power. Never try to change others, especially when they believe they are right. Let's begin with a warm greeting and a wish for a strong, successful week ahead. Manjoy, a phrase that combines strength and skill, sets the tone for our discussion. Life is ever-changing, and so too must our ways of thinking and interacting with the world. Just as we update our software for better performance and security, we must also update our philosophies and attitudes, ensuring they remain relevant and effective in the face of life's uncertainties. The principle we focus on today is not a new one. In fact, it's a foundational concept that has often appeared in discussions about human relations. But now, it's time to deepen our understanding, to make this timeless wisdom more applicable to our daily lives. Let's not allow our mental tools to become outdated. By refining and adapting our beliefs, we keep them sharp and ready to serve us in the ever-shifting landscape of modern life. So, what is the number one rule for harmonious interactions? It's this: do not try to change anyone, no matter who they are. This approach is not about giving up on people or resigning ourselves to stagnation. Rather, it's about recognizing the futility and unintended consequences of trying to force change upon someone who is convinced they are right. Consider this. Have you ever tried to convince someone to see things your way, only to be met with resistance or even hostility? The reality is, when a person believes they are right, no amount of logic, force, or persuasion will sway them. Even children, when convinced they are right, can be difficult to move. How much more so for adults who have years of experience and a well-fortified sense of self? When we attempt to change someone who is steadfast in their beliefs, the conversation inevitably shifts. Instead of a healthy exchange of ideas, it becomes a battle of egos. If reasoning fails, people may resort to personal attacks, seeking to prove the other wrong rather than seeking understanding. What started as a simple disagreement can quickly escalate into frustration, anger, and even enmity. Relationships suffer, and sometimes even the most well-intentioned efforts to help can lead to lasting bitterness. Let's illustrate this with a personal example. Imagine someone stating, "I don't like wearing gold." This is a statement about personal taste, yet others might immediately challenge it, insisting, "You're lying. Everyone likes gold. You must just not have the money to buy it." Regardless of the truth, people's preconceptions can be so strong that they reject even clear personal truths. In such situations, trying to convince others of your sincerity is not only exhausting, but also pointless. The wisest course is often to either change the topic, gently go along, or simply remove yourself from the conversation. Another scenario arises in the world of online business. Many newcomers are eager to find quick success, sometimes believing that buying fake followers is a shortcut to credibility. Experienced professionals know that these tactics are ineffective and can even harm one's reputation. Yet trying to convince someone who is still caught up in their excitement and dreams can backfire, making them resentful or dismissive. If you attempt to burst their bubble while they are still emotionally invested, you risk not only being ignored, but also becoming the target of their frustration. Why is buying fake followers a bad idea? These followers are not real people, have no interest in your offerings, and will never become loyal customers. It's like a singer performing to a room full of mannequins. No applause, no engagement, no growth. Social platforms are intelligent enough to recognize fake activity, and your engagement will ultimately suffer. Despite these facts, unless someone is ready to hear it, unless they themselves begin to doubt their approach, your advice will likely fall on deaf ears. So when is the right time to help? Only when someone acknowledges their mistakes or admits that they lack knowledge. When a person seeks your input, asks for your experience, or confides in their uncertainty, that is the moment when your support can truly make a difference. At that point, your advice will not only be heard, but it will also be appreciated and remembered. This kind of help builds trust, gratitude, and stronger relationships. Let's extend this principle to the workplace, especially for young professionals entering a new company. It's common to feel out of place or dissatisfied with the company culture, leading some to want to fix things right away. However, as a newcomer, you have little influence. The office, the computers, even the desk you sit at, none of it is truly yours. Attempting to change established ways too soon is not only difficult, but can also lead to isolation or even being pushed out. What are your options? First, recognize that you are a guest in a new environment. Your initial task is to adapt, to learn, and to find ways to fit in. If you find the culture unbearable, it may be wiser to move on rather than wage a futile campaign for change. But there's also a higher path. Integrate yourself, contribute meaningfully, and build a reputation. Once you have earned respect and trust, your suggestions for improvement will carry much more weight. People care not just about the message, but about who delivers it. If you have changed jobs multiple times and still feel out of place, perhaps it's time for self-reflection. Maybe the real change needed is within yourself, a willingness to learn, to grow, and to adapt. In summary, trying to change someone who is convinced they are right is a recipe for unnecessary conflict and stress. This holds true in marriage, friendship, work, and every other sphere of life. By focusing on understanding rather than changing others, you can avoid up to 80% of needless disputes. The only time to offer guidance or correction is when someone seeks it out, when they realize they are stuck or need help. Then, and only then, your advice will be welcomed and effective. Thank you for joining this exploration of one of life's most valuable interpersonal principles. Remember, the path to harmony often lies not in changing others, but in changing ourselves and meeting others where they are. Wishing you strength, skill, and enduring relationships. Until next time, take care and keep growing.